And good afternoon and welcome to War Memorial Stadium, where it is the Class 2A state championship brought to you by Chevrolet. My name is J.R. Runyon. Dusty Richards joins us here. Dusty, we are ready for some exciting football action here in a game that promises for just hard-hitting defense, but it could be explosive offensively.
Absolutely. And, this is a type of game you don't have the BCS controversy like you have in college football. These are the absolute two best teams in the 2A, and they have just beaten people to a pulp except for each other this year, and it's going to be fun to watch.
It really is. We're going to try to go to the field and see if we can get our Land of Frost coin toss for the game here today, and we had some problems with the officials' mic earlier. I'm not sure if they've gotten it working here, but we'll see if they do. Apparently they have not, so we will just let you know that we'll follow along here as both of these teams get ready. This is the second time that they will have seen each other this year, and it was a 14-12 victory in the regular season for Bearden that helped get them to that 14-0 mark. But when you realize that that 12 points scored against them was 12 of the 18 that they had scored against them during the regular season.
Yeah, that's really amazing. And, you go back to that game, there was a missed extra point early on in the game. The Junction City scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, scored late but missed the 2-point conversion that would have tied it. And here we go with the rematch.
All right, it's ready. We are ready. Coming back, we will have kickoff as it's the Bearden and Junction City battle for the Class 2A state title. Junction City, the defending Class 2A state champions, is starting to reign here at War Memorial. This should be an interesting ball game, and we'll have it for you when we come back right here on KARZ TV 42. Welcome back here to War Memorial Stadium. The raindrops are falling on the heads here. And they were so gracious enough to even let the fans go back and get their umbrellas because they need them for this game here this afternoon. It's Rodney Larry and Alan Turner back deep for Junction City as we get ready to get this football game kicked off. And Dusty, it's an exciting atmosphere. It's a cold December afternoon. It's the Class 2A state title on the line. You got 14-0 Bearden. You've got the defending state champion Junction City Dragons. You could not ask for a better or more exciting environment for a football game.
Summed it up perfectly, J.R.
Well, of course. No, I'm kidding you. The game sums itself up perfectly. The kick is going to be a short one. It's going to bounce and be covered. It's going to be picked up at the 29, and that is going to be all right there. And that is where Junction City will start this football game. You can't really say contrasting styles because they both play the same kind of physical football. Defensive, it's all about defense. It's all about defense. When you look at 3 points a game and under 6 points a game, but then you look at both of these teams are explosive offensively, having scored over 40 points a game. Which one is going to come out as the story here, I think is the big story this afternoon.
Absolutely, that's going to be a question. And also field position right now is going to play a big role considering the two teams and the conditions we have.
It's Antoine Cook who will bring the Junction City Dragons to the line. Takes the snap, hand off to the deep back, looking for room around the right side, looking to cut it up the field and not getting anywhere, then push back. That is number 2. That is Kadarian Ross, and Ross a big factor in last year's state championship game. But on the opening play, he's going to be stopped for a small gain.
You notice the pursuit down the line early on in a big game like this. You're basically running off emotions for the first 2 drives, so you're going to see a lot of plays like that, 11 guys to the ball. And also you notice, first play of the game, they run away from standout David L. Collins.
A sign-on, or at least an oral commitment to Oklahoma State in the Big 12 is Collins, a 6'6", 245-pound senior defensive end. Cook again hands off to the first back through this time. He's going to find a little bit of room up the middle. That is number 14, Kyle Darden. The fullback gets up to about the 34, maybe just shy of the 35-yard line. It'll set up 3rd and 5.
Now Bearden sticking with their base 3-5-3 defense. They've got 8 in the box, crowding a little bit. Look for Junction City to continue with those quick handoffs up the middle.
Bearden has 4 shutouts defensively on the season, but even with that, they've only given up 5.6 points a game.
That's incredible.
Game, folks. That's just amazing. So it'll be 3rd down and 5, just shy of the 35-yard line. Needed to get up to the 39. The pitch this time to the left side, looking for running room, and going to be wrapped up as Alan Turner still fighting for the yardage. He gets up, gets the first down across the 40-yard line. It looked like he was going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage, but he got himself free, pushed it up for the first down yardage.
Now those are the kind of plays you're going to see.
And that is another Land of Frost first down here. We want to thank Land of Frost for bringing us today's ball game here on KARZ TV 42. As you're watching this, go ahead and write it down right now. AAA offer at cranemedia.com. That's AAA offer at cranemedia.com. Doesn't matter how this game comes out. I have a feeling you're going to want it for your library. In the wishbone set. Handoff. It's Turner. Turner looking for room on the left side. Finds it up to about the 45-yard line. Alan Turner, the 188-pound senior. Let's real quickly run across that front line for the Junction City Dragons today. It's Caleb Amoson, the offensive tackle, and the guard is Jacob Pumphrey. The center is Garrett Owens. The other guard is Deverick Wright. And the other offensive tackle is Byron Jones, the MVP of last year's state championship game here at War Memorial. So to be second down at the 45-yard line. Call it second down and 6 for the Dragons. 9:39 to go here in the first quarter of play at War Memorial. Pitch back to the right side this time. Again looking for running room. We got a flag on the play. Going to be a holding call most likely. It's going to negate a good run that time by Larry. That is Rodney Larry, the junior.
And holding is the call.
It is going to be a holding call against Junction City, and so the good run is negated by the Little Yellow Hanky. And you know what? Those kind of things, I think, as this afternoon goes on, are going to be the things that we're going to see as being difference makers. Don't make mistakes. Don't turn over the football. We'll talk about the turnover ratio here in a minute. But those little things, when you see two teams so evenly matched in what they want to do, I think can be the real telling tale here this afternoon.
Absolutely.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Is that referee Mike?
Yeah, they got it all working. They just didn't know that they were supposed to talk to us in the pregame. Somebody didn't give them the memo. So to be second down, they'll mark off back to the 35-yard line. It'll set up second down and 15 for the Junction City Dragons on their opening drive here this afternoon in the State 2A championship game here at War Memorial Stadium.
So what a telling sign. Junction City averages 29 passing yards per game. That's not their forte. So they want to avoid those big holding penalties that put them in passing situations.
It'll be second down and 15. Up to the line is Cook. He'll look to hand off to Turner. Turner looking for room around the left side. Great job defensively by the right side of that Bearden line. 32 is Ricky Brown, the senior linebacker, coming up and making the play for a loss, a drop back to the 32-yard line, a loss of 3 on the float. Actually, they're going to mark it at the 35, so just back of the line of scrimmage, about a 1-yard loss on the play.
For you kids watching on television, if you want to play linebacker, eventually when you get to the high school level, watch Ricky Brown on that play. That's exactly how you do it. Junction City ran a reverse counter play to the weak side of the field, and Brown stayed at home. That's exactly what you have to do.
So now it sets up a 3rd and 16 at the 35-yard line. High formation this time behind the quarterback, Antoine Cook. He'll look to drop back and pass. Already in trouble. The protection's not there for him. He's trying to run out of it, and he is going to be sacked for a loss of about 2 on the play. And a great job. That Bearden defense shows why they allow just 140 yards a game out there, as they were just swarming. He never had a chance to find the pocket, never had a chance to look for a receiver. Really, the only thing he had a chance at was trying to get out of trouble.
Absolutely, and Alan Holmes gets credit for that sack, but I tell you what, it was David L. Collins that made that play. He had a speed rush on the outside against Byron Jones, forced the quarterback to step up in the pocket, allowed the other defenders to come in.
Makes it a 4th and 18, and the first drive of the game for Junction City is going to result in a punt. That'll be caught at the 34. Up to the 35, 40-yard line, looking for running room, out to the 45, still on his feet, powering his way all the way up to the midfield stripe is Gerald Mora. He'll be just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line, and Bearden with outstanding field position to start this first drive.
Yeah, I think that's a key point. Junction City starts at their own 29 last drive. Here, Bearden starts at the 49-yard line.
Big difference, and when you're talking again about defenses that only give up, Junction City, now this will be the tail of the tape, very balanced in what they give up defensively. Only 47 yards a game do they give up on the ground, and only 44 yards through the air for less than 100 yards, actually 91 yards per game average giving up defensively. It'll be first down now for the Bears. They try to run it right side, finding running room a little bit on the right side, but good pursuit. And I believe that's the quarterback and also the cornerback or the safety. Check that. That was Alan Turner. That was Alan Turner defensively. I have my numbers there mixed up for just a second. It's Devontae Lowe, number 3, the quarterback, and then number 3, the safety, Alan Turner, for the defense of Junction City that comes up and makes the tackle. He got about a 1-yard gain, just gets the ball of football into Junction City territory. So it'll be 2nd down and 9. 6:49 to go here in the opening quarter. Opening drive of the game for the Bearden Bears. Back in the gun, the handoff to the sophomore. The pitch back to the sophomore, rather the snap directly to him. He gets a first down as he picks up 10 yards on the carry, gets inside the 40-yard line. And Devontae Lowe, a sophomore, running this offense here this afternoon for the Bearden Bears, gets good yardage.
And you said it, I mean, he's a sophomore, and that's what you're going to see a lot of. You don't want to put the pressure on the sophomore by having him run complicated plays, throwing the ball. You're going to see him run the ball a lot of misdirection in the backfield. It's important for the Junction City defense to hold their keys, don't watch the ball.
230 yards a game average is what Bearden does on the ground for the season. And again, averaging 41.5 points a game. The snap again to Lowe, this time the handoff. And that's going to get down to about the 36-yard line. Checking the ball carrier is number 2. And number 2 is Rashad Beats. Beats, the wing back, picks up, going to call it 3 and call it 2nd down and 7.
You know, for the listeners out there, you're going to hear us call a lot of the same names for both teams on both sides of the ball.
When you get to this 2A level, a lot of times you see the 10 best athletes and then the 3 next after that. You get the majority of playing time. 36-yard line, the line of scrimmage, and a kind of a bum on the snap, and actually it was the quarterback who lined up as the wing back, and the pitch went directly to Ricky Brown, got a little bit of that Wildcat-type formation, and Brown hands it off to Lowe. Lowe gets around the right side, actually loses about a yard, back to the 37, where it'll be 3rd down and 8.
Hell, how long before we see Pee Wee teams running their version of the hybrid?
And I think it all started, at least for most of us here in Arkansas,
That's
feel
right.
like it all started with some guy named McFadden. I don't remember if that was his name or not, but 3rd down and 8. Inside Junction City territory, the handoff, inside handoff, not going to get any kind of positive yardage. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll set up a 4th down to carry that time by Rashad Beats. And Kyle Darden, the defensive end for the Junction City Dragons, in on the tackle. It'll set up a 4th down now for the Bearden Bears inside of Junction City territory at this 37-yard line.
You got to imagine this is 4-down territory.
Sending Jared Moore out there, who is listed as the punter, but he is going to wind up as a receiver. And on 4th down, the Bearden Bears willing to risk field position here. Lowe back to pass on 4th down. Has a receiver. Can he hit him? Yes. Oh, and he drops the football. Drops the football. Rashad Beats had it in his mitts. It was a good pass and a great play, but Rashad Beats could not bring the pass in, and the ball will go over on downs to Junction City.
I tell you what, you got to make that play at this caliber of a game, but give credit to that Mr. Ross, number 2, the free safety, came up, made a clean break on the ball to throw across the field. Tough to see if you got a hand on the ball, but regardless, Junction City's got the football.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 now after the ball turned over on downs to the Dragons. And they will start their 2nd possession of this ball game, all tied up at nada with 4:14 to go here in the 1st quarter of play. From the I formation again, this time wanting to pass it. It's picked off. Picked off. Bearden. Is it going to be a pick 6? It's Lawson. Lawson gets it down to the 31-yard line, and that is where Bearden's defense comes up strong. We talked about it ourselves, but hadn't made the reference yet in the ball game. Our coverage, 28 plus 28 in the turnover margin now is plus 29.
If you guys don't understand what that means they took the ball away 28 more times during the season than they turned the ball over. That's incredible.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Number 29 here in the state championship game. And it's the Bearden Bears who have taken back over now inside of the Junction City Dragon territory at the 32-yard line. The sophomore quarterback, Lowe. From the gun, takes the snap. Now he'll drop back to pass. He's being pursued, gets away from the coverage. Has running route to the left side, comes back up inside. He's at the 30, 25, down inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. Close to a 1st down for Lowe. He had time to pass. He got pressured there again by number 14, Kyle Darden, coming around from the right side, but it got away from it and had running room.
I'll tell you what, you talk about sophomores playing on such a big stage. A lot of times the pressure doesn't get to them because they don't know any better.
You're exactly right.
And he
You're not supposed to be nervous? I'm just out here playing football. That's what you pay me. I mean, that's what, I pay to do.
He looked comfortable on that play.
Just shy of the first down marker to be second down and short for the Bearden Bears. First big opportunity of the football game. Again, it's Martin on the snap. And check that's Ricky Brown. Not Ricky Martin, it's not Singer, it's a ball player. Ricky Brown on the direct snap, on that Wildcat formation, gets the first down as he gets inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Another Land of Frost first down for the Bearden Bears.
JR, you discussed before the game the importance of just little momentum swings. You turn the ball over, all of a sudden you see the Bearden offense taking the ball into the Junction City secondary on almost every run now. The Bearden's winning the battle in the trenches, as you see. I mean, just one little swing, it can have that kind of effect.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. And again, it's Brown with the snap, hands it off, and not much running room that time for Lowe as he lined up in kind of that wingback position of that Wildcat formation. Tackle that time is going to be made by number, is it 51?
61.
61.
Is Mr. Ashton Franklin, 5'7", 175-pound defensive tackle. That's another thing you see at the 2A level. Guys that small playing on the defensive line.
It's amazing, isn't it? So it'll be second down and 10 as the first down play really for no gain. And again, this time Lowe now will line up as the quarterback. That double wing to the right. Keeps it himself straight up the gut, run all the way for the quarterback, and he gets it inside the 15-yard line to the 13. I mean, there was no chance of a handoff. He was taking that snap and going forward.
Absolutely. But at the same time, I saw 4, yellow jerseys?
Yeah.
4 yellow jerseys went towards that fake. So well sold by the Bearden running backs. And, you run some plays to set up plays like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it'll be third down. Now a big third down here. At the 13-yard line, call a third basically in 5 for the Bearden Bears. And again, it's Ricky Brown. Brown's got the first down. He's got close to the 5-yard line. He'll be racked up back. Ball is loose. Ball loose on the ground.
Wow. Junction City says they have it.
No indication yet. Junction City thinks they have it, and they do.
Junction City football. Wow.
Oh, my goodness. You talk about little swings. Now it's back to plus 28. My goodness, what a big, big play right there for Junction City. The defense of Junction City allowing just 91 yards a game says, okay, you may be down to the red zone, baby. We're going to strip that thing, and that's exactly what they did.
No more shutdown defense. That's called bend but don't break, but I guarantee you they'll take it.
And sometimes, when you're trying to get that extra yardage, you loosen yourself up, and I think that may have been the case there because he had gotten down to the 5-yard line. And he was still trying to get free, and I think in trying to get free is what spun that football loose. And now Junction City avoids getting scored against, takes it back over at the 10-yard line. Handoff to the left side, running room up that left side, out to about the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. On the carry that time. And I didn't see if the ball carrier.
Couldn't quite get a number on that. I did see David Collins. He actually lost the battle to 2008 state championship MVP Byron Jones. He's at that left tackle spot. It'll be fun to watch those two compete.
So it'll be second down and 5. The carry that time was by Alan Turner. He picks up 5. Cook hands off again, this time running room up the right side for Mr. Turner, and he gets it up first down yardage. Another Land of Frost first down as he gets it out to the 23-yard line. So now Junction City with the momentum back on the purple and gold side of the field. The east side here as we stand at War Memorial. It's a different kind of purple and gold. It's not the LSU type look, and which is fine with me. Inside of 45 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play. Dusty Richards, J.R. Runyon bringing you the Class 2A state championship game here on KARZ TV. Wishbone formation. This time it goes to the left side. Running back. He's got running room to the 50, to the 40. One man to beat. He's going to strip him. Down to the 25, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Junction City. That's Larry with the, I think we're going to call that about a 50, 60, 72-yard touchdown run.
Wow, look at the pandemonium on the Junction City side. Great block right there. I think that was, as my paper flies, number 54, Deontay Douglas had the kick-out block in the pulling guard. Bearden cornerback had an arm tackle, and off the running back went.
Rodney Larry with a 77-yard jaunt for the end zone, for the touchdown, and the first points of the game to the Junction City Dragons. Here's the snap on the PAT. The kick is up, and it is good. 7-0 our score with 20 seconds left to go in the first quarter. We'll be back after this. You're watching the 2A State Championship football game from War Memorial Stadium on KARZ TV 42. Seven 0 our score after a 77-yard touchdown run by Rodney Larry, the Junction City Dragons. After the turnover, a 90-yard drive capped off by that big run, and Junction City has a 7-0 lead in defense of their state title against 14-0 the Bearden Bears here at War Memorial Stadium this afternoon. All right, wow, that was an amazing run.
I'll tell you something. When Junction City, they were against their heels, and I'll get to this after this kickoff here.
We'll get the kickoff here coming from the Dragons. Little pooch kick.
Let it go.
He's going to let it go out of bounds. It'll come up to the 35-yard line, and that is where the Bearden Bears will start this drive.
When Bearden had the ball in their red zone, Junction City defense was on their heels. You saw all 11 players weren't hustling to the ball. They're kind of just standing around watching. When the Bearden running back is getting into the secondary, all of a sudden the ball pops loose. Snap of a finger, you've got a long run. Just like that, a turnover.
So we talked about it, turnovers, those little things that can make such a big difference here in a football game. Swinging momentum, making things happen, and can be the difference in a game. And really, my score prediction's already blown out of the water, okay? You know, but it could come down to that. The way these two teams play, that could be the only score of the game. We're going to find out. I have a feeling we're going to see a little bit more.
It'll be tough to gauge.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bearden Bears. They'll start this time into the 35-yard line. See how the sophomore responds. And it's again lining up in that Wildcat formation. It's Ricky Brown who will take the snap and run it straight up the gut. He'll get close to a first down yardage, and he should have it across the 45 for a 10-yard carry on first down.
One thing you noticed when Ricky Brown was getting tackled that time, he had both hands on the ball.
Cover and protect. Cover and protect. And I'm looking. Rashad Beats is in there. Okay, there's Devontae Lowe. For a minute there, I did not see Lowe out on the field, but he is now in position out there. And we have a stoppage of play as they're going to let the clock run down to the end of the quarter. At the end of one, our score is 7-0. Junction City Dragons with the lead after a 77-yard touchdown run to cap off a 90-yard drive. It's Junction City 7, in Bearden 0. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this on KARZ TV 42. Welcome back as we get ready to get the second quarter underway. This Class 2A State Football Championship from War Memorial Stadium here on a December afternoon. And Bearden now with the ball at their own 45-yard line, trying to answer back Junction City after their big touchdown drive. Lowe gets the handoff. As again, running a lot out of that kind of a wildcat formation. Devontae Lowe gets the handoff. The sophomore gets it up to midfield. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
JR, I think what we're going to kind of see now, and that's the beginning of the second quarter, it's going to be less about emotional high, and it's going to be more about just straight execution from two teams who are the very best at it in the state.
Well, when you've got a 14-0 record, okay, coming in, you have confidence. You know you're winning, okay?
Absolutely.
So now it's just go out, even though you're behind on the scoreboard, go out and do what it is that got you to where you are.
That's right.
Devontae Lowe, the quarterback from the gun, hands it off. cutting back up the field. That is Beats, and Beats will get it up to about the 47-yard line of the Junction City Dragons, so he gets it inside the Dragon territory, and it'll be 3rd and short. Call it 3rd and about 2 for the first down.
And Bearden likes to overload one side, kind of like you said in that Wildcat variation, and they'll only have one off lineman on the outside of that center. Junction City adjusting to it. They're playing more defenders on the short side of the field so they don't get caught on those counter plays.
So to be set down 3rd and 2. This time, Lowe will keep it himself, get the first down and more as he gets inside the 45, down about the 42. 5-yard pickup on first down. It's another Landefrost first down.
You see Mr. Byron Jones right there, that big MVP defensive tackle for Junction City. He's getting double teamed on these counter plays. What you want to do as a defensive tackle, once you're getting double teamed, your first instinct has to be hit the ground, make a pile, clog up the hole.
Good point. Good point, because you got somebody that big, especially, that's a big old hole.
That's right.
You can clog a lot of hole with somebody that size. 1st and 10, another Landefrost first down for the Bearden Bears, trying to answer back after Junction City's opening score. And taking the ball straight up the field is Beats. Rashad Beats, the junior, 175-pounder, picks up about 3 on the carry. Gets inside the 40-yard line down to the 38. It will be 2nd down and call it about 6 for the first down. In that first quarter of play, 104 yards total offense for Junction City, of course, with that big 77-yard touchdown run. But Bearden just 46 yards on 11 plays in that first quarter. They're moving the ball now, though, and it's Beats again with the direct pitch.
Wow.
Fighting his way.
Wow.
Not giving up until he gets inside the 30-yard line. He's got another first down and more. Picks up about 8 or 9 on the carry.
I'm going to tell you something. That's not Larry Zonka out there. Beats is 5'8", 187 pounds, but that's what running back is. Low center of gravity. Keep your feet churning at all times.
So it'll set up a 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line for the Bearden Bears. Averaging 41 points a game on the season. Junction City trying to avenge an earlier loss to the Bears. Ball on the ground. Ball on the ground. A scramble for it. Junction City has it. Junction City, another turnover created. Bearden was at plus 29 just moments ago. Now they're at plus 27 after 2 huge turnovers, both of them inside the Junction City territory. One, of course, the first one was down in the red zone, taking back 90 yards for a touchdown on the drive, and now Junction City with another great defensive play comes up with the football.
And there's only so many times you can deflate the momentum. That's a long drive down the field before you shoot yourself in the foot again.
And we've got a timeout on the field. Timeout on the field as Bearden wants to regroup. We'll take it as well with 9:16 to go until halftime. Our score, Junction City 7, Bearden nothing. We'll be back after this on KARZ TV 42. Welcome back to War Memorial Stadium. You know, Dusty, we were just talking about Bearden has not been in a position where they've barely been. Now, they were behind in the game to Junction City before, I believe, earlier in the season. But they haven't been behind by 2 touchdowns. So this becomes a very, very key drive for Bearden, and to see how they respond to any kind of adversity.
You know, even in that regular season game, they were up on Junction City most of the game. So this is something they haven't faced yet.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Junction City. Wishbone formation again, this time the handoff to the right side. That is to Kadarian Ross. He's going to get, well, maybe a yard or 2 out to about maybe close to the 32. We'll see, they'll mark it there. It'll be a 2-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Tell you what, you know, regardless of the turnover situation, Bearden is winning the battle in the trenches despite giving up more size. And a lot of times you'll see great junior linebackers level off their senior year because they lose those defensive linemen that hold the blockers off of them so they can make the play. So that's something to watch, I think, in this game.
Excellent point. 2nd down and 8. Now for Junction City. Can they take advantage of the opportunity? Single receiver out to the left side. Wishbone formation, the pitch to the right side. Looking for running room. Off tackle right side up around the 34-yard line. A pickup of 2 on the carry that time. Again, Kadarian Ross, the senior. Now it's 3rd and long. This is a big play right here for the Bearden defense. They need to make a stop right here. I mean, you want a 3 and out after a turnover. That's always the first goal. If you can't get the ball back, at least make them kick it back to you.
I think that was a good timeout call by Coach Mike Cox.
Absolutely.
A regrouping timeout.
And now we're going to get another whistle, and this time, I believe, it's Junction City that wants to talk about things. Again, realizing the importance of the sway of what could happen here in the next 30 seconds. We'll come back after this timeout, and we'll see how Junction City can perform and how Bearden's defense responds here on 3rd and about 6 from the 34-yard line. We'll be back right after this on KARZ TV 42. Welcome back to play here at War Memorial Stadium. It's a big 3rd down for both of these teams. The handoff to the right side, and a good job by the Bearden Bear defense. They respond, and it will be 3 and out after the turnover as the Bearden Bears defense does what they had to do, and that is keep themselves in this football game.
Absolutely. Good character shown right there. You're seeing defensive linemen hold up their blockers, linebackers, stringing the blockers out. That way the other inside linebackers can come up and make a play. And tell you what, you talked about the sway of the next 30 seconds. There it is.
Let's see what happens here. It'll be a 4th down punt for Junction City with a 7-0 lead. The snap, here's the kick, and a good punt.
Flag down.
Flag back at the line of scrimmage. The ball will roll down to about the 15-yard line, and we'll see what the penalty call is going to be back here.
I would imagine they're going to re-punt this.
I think that if there was motion that would be the right call. Let's see here. The officials are conferring, and neither team seems to be making a move back to the line of scrimmage, but let's see what our officials here this afternoon, led by Mike Boyd, our officiating crew here at the State 2A Championship game. Let's go to the field. And it is going to be a procedure call against, I'd make him re-kick it.
I would too. I mean,
that was a good kick with a good roll. If I'm Bearden, and you can see Coach here on the sideline going, push him back, go back, redo it.
There's no question about that.
Again, folks, we want to remind you, if you'd like to have a DVD copy of this football game, we'd love to put one in your hands. It's real simple. Just send us an email at aaaoffer@cranemedia.com. That's AAA. That's aaaoffer@cranemedia.com.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So they will re-kick as they'll move the line of scrimmage back to the 31.
Interesting to see. You know, you back them up. We'll see if Bearden will bring the house and maybe go for the block here.
Kyle Darden is the punter for the Junction City Dragons here this afternoon. Darden, number 14. Also a defensive end, also a fullback. As we talked about at 2A, you play a lot of positions. Here's the snap, the kick. A good high kick, but definitely going to work in favor of Bearden, as it will make a Bearden bounce back up to the 43-yard line. So, Dusty, you look at that, and that is about a 27-yard penalty as opposed to a 5-yard penalty.
Absolutely. You talked about before the game turnovers and penalties. That's what it all comes down to when you have two even high-caliber teams. Now you just gave 27 yards to your opponent who you had the momentum over.
And that's a you think a procedure call generally doesn't hurt you all that much? That's probably the most damaging procedure call that you're going to see. So it'll be 1st down at the 43-yard line, just shy of the 44 for the Bearden Bears, trailing by 7 with 7:08 to go until halftime in this first half of the 2A State Championship game at War Memorial. And now we're going to have that procedure call go back the other direction.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, be a 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
As Mike Boyd tells us that that'll be marked off against the Bears. Back to the 39 is where they'll put it.
You see Bearden come out now with 2 split-out receivers, and Junction City likes to run that 3-5-3 defense. It's a little more suitable for this formation than maybe some of those inside running attacks that we've seen so far from the Bearden offense.
And now with 1st and 15, you don't have to get it all back right here, but if you came out with kind of a mindset to put the ball in the air, you're not going to change it just because it's 1st and 15. And talk about split wide out. Yeah. I mean, he almost went and reported back to the bench, but it's going to be an attempt maybe to spread the field. And Fonte Lowe and Byron Jones meet in the middle of the field, and Byron Jones wins that battle. Imagine that.
He sure did win that battle. But something I want to point out, that Bears receiver, he was split out so far. You got to take into effect that Bearden is on the far side of the field. You got a sophomore quarterback. He's not going to throw the ball that far out there. If I'm that cornerback, I'm probably going to split the difference in between that receiver and probably the tight end.
Good point. Good point. It'll be second down and call it 14. It's really almost closer to 15. From the gun, back to pass is low. Looking down the middle, has the receivers. Got him. Up close to the first down. Going to be a little bit shy. The pass caught that time by Alan Holmes, the big tight end linebacker, 180-pounder for Junction City. Getting him out of hole, but not quite enough for the first down, as it's going to be about a yard short. It'll set up third down and short, and a much more manageable third down situation.
Yeah, you have a second and long, and Junction City comes out in a cover 4 defense. It means all 4 secondary guys cover a quarter of the field. It's easy to kind of sit back and get caught even playing prevent. You give up a big pass like that.
Trying to get another Land of Frost first down in the books of the Bearden Bears. Down by 7 with 5:40 to go here in the first half of play. The snap to Brown. He's got the first down and more. Forward progress going to give him the first down. He's brought down back at the 50, but the forward progress across the 45 down close to the 44-yard line. It'll be another Land of Frost first down for the Bearden Bears. And really, this kind of suits their style too. With still 5 minutes left to go, you got plenty of time, very patient, you're not forced to anything. They can go in here at halftime. If they can get the touchdown here, it's all back to nada.
I'll tell you what, now I guarantee you Coach Mike Cox would make mention of that. He would say, we cannot have shot ourselves in the foot any worse.
Right.
We can go into halftime, tied or with the lead.
It'll be 1st and 10, just inside the 45-yard line of the Junction City Dragons. Lowe takes the handoff, he keeps it himself, left side, got running room, 40, down to the 35, 30, inside the 30-yard line, out of bounds at the 28, another first down, and a good run by the sophomore, DeFonte Lowe.
Well, DeFonte Lowe putting up big numbers early on. Been his case for the player of the game in the first half so far for Bearden, but they continue to run to the short side of the field where there's less defenders for Junction City. And the cornerback for Junction City, I think that's Antoine Cook, also the quarterback. He got caught inside, and as a cornerback, you never want to let the receiver that's blocking you get to your outside because you're the last line of defense to that sideline.
And another Land of Frost first down, puts it on play at the 28-yard line. This time, 2 receivers split out far to the right side, also 2 to the left side. And the handoff to the end around. He's got it down to the 20, trying to get yardage inside the 15, down close to the 10-yard line. Then again, Ricky Brown, and Ricky Brown has another first down for the Bearden Bears as they're marching towards the end zone.
That's the first time Bearden's taken advantage of splitting that receiver out far. So wide, they run an off-tackle play to the right side. They had a pulling guard. They string out the linebacker, which opens up the cutback lane. Junction City didn't have enough defenders to the inside to help out.
Timeout on the field. We'll take it as well with 5:06 left to go here in the first half of play as the Bearden Bears trying to put this one in the end zone and tie this football game up. It's 7-0. We'll be back right after this on KRC TV 42. Welcome back. 5 minutes, 6 seconds left in this first half of play from the State 2A Championship and the Arkansas Activities Association Football Championship Series here at War Memorial Stadium. As it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bearden Bears, trying to answer back here and get on the board. And it's DeFonte Lowe, who slipped a little bit in the backfield, was able to come forward and pick up the positive yardage, but only picks up about a yard on the carry as he moves forward on the first down carry down to about the 11-yard line, just shy of the 10.
Now Jacob Thorokill was there to make that tackle. He doesn't start on defense, but pretty much like any player on that football team, he's going to get some playing time. And I'll tell you what, during that timeout, do you think Coach Mike Cox said anything to his ball carriers?
Yeah, it's called wrap it up, clean it up, hang on to the football. And now we're going to get another timeout called, this time by the Bearden Bears. We'll keep it right here for you, as we've got 4.5 minutes left to go here in this first half. And Dusty, your impressions of this football game so far? Both teams already have allowed defensively more yards than they averaged throughout the season, but you kind of expected that because of the offensive effectiveness of both of these football teams here today.
Yeah, and the score's not really indicative of how good these two teams have been offensively. We've seen the turnovers, and it's about the most exciting game you can get. That's 7-0.
It really is. I mean, and quickly paced as well.
Yep.
And of course, that comes from only 3 pass attempts even been made here in this football game. So they're keeping it on the ground, keeping the clock rolling, and keeping things rolling here at War Memorial Stadium. It's the 2A state championship game. The Bearden Bears 14-0 on the season, coming in to the 12-1 Junction City Dragons, with their only loss being to this Bearden team. So, gee, are you surprised?
Not in the least.
Not surprised by a one-score ball game. And again, if you hadn't remembered this, Bearden only gives up 5.6 a game. Junction City only gives up 3 a game. And I'm not talking about anything but points.
We've got an empty set here.
2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. The quarterback is low. He stands back. He's looking to the end zone. He's got a man wide open in the end zone, cutting back inside. What a perfect play to Gerald Moore, and Gerald Moore gets the touchdown, and they're 1 point away from tying this football game.
Look, that is absolute textbook play calling right there. You've run the same formation pretty much the entire game. You come out in the red zone with an empty set. All those receivers, Junction City got caught confused. They were supposed to play man-to-man. That slot receiver wide open on a post route in the end zone.
For the touchdown, and the Bearden Bears are an extra point away from tying this ball game with 4:29 left to go here in the opening half of play. The snap, the kick, it's up. Straight on kicker, straight on through. 7-7 our score with 4:29 left to go here in the opening half of play from the State 2A Championship game. After the touchdown catch by Gerald Moore, we're tied at 7. We'll be back after this on KARZ TV 42. Welcome back, War Memorial Stadium, and it's Gerald Moore who tees the ball up onto the tee for the kicker as we get ready here to get back underway. And Gerald Moore with the touchdown reception has tied this football game at 7-7. And the little pooch kick, again this time by DeFonte Lowe, is going to be covered at the 33-yard line by Junction City, and that'll be where they will start this possession with 4:28. Lots of time on the clock. And now Junction City has the opportunity to take the momentum into halftime if they can just march it down the field. And the Bearden Bears defensively have got their challenge made out for them here to make a stand to keep Mighty Mo on the black side of the jerseys.
And if I'm Bearden, I'm thrilled to death right now.
Absolutely.
Barring the circumstances. You're tied.
Giving up the ball twice already. It'll be 1st and 10. Antoine Cook, the senior quarterback, wishbone formation behind him, hands it off to the tailback. And Alan Turner gets it up to about the 37-yard line. We'll call it a pickup of 4, make it pick up a 3, 2nd and 7.
Yeah, I'm sure these teams have scouted each other plenty. They've got footage of them playing against each other, and also you got playoff tapes. But if I'm Bearden defense right now, I'm taking into account that Junction City throws for 29 yards a game. There's no reason to back up in the secondary. They're going to keep running the wishbone. That's what I'm playing against right now.
This time they'll come out of the broken bone. Now put him in motion. And the pitch back will go to the right side. Cuts back up the field, finds a running lane out to the 45-yard line. And that is Larry again. That is Rodney Larry, who has been getting a lot of attention here this afternoon. Rodney Larry with, of course, big attention thanks to a 77-yard touchdown run.
Oh, yeah.
That'll get you a lot of attention.
You know, he put the breakaway speed on display on that run, but you watch a play like that, both defensive lines pursuing flat down the line. It's like as a running back, you're waiting for that exact moment that the hole opens up. So he has vision, too.
It'll be 1st and 10, another Landafrost first down here. And the handoff this time to the fullback. And he will carry forward. That is Denzel Hayes. as he gets the ball into Bearden territory at the 49, close to the 48-yard line. Would it be second and about 4 with 3 minutes left on this first half clock.
Yeah, it's going to be important that Junction City has other running backs step up because you can't expect Rodney Larry to carry the load the entire game. So that'll be something to keep an eye on.
See if they can keep that thing spread out. Second and 4. Again from the bone, hand it off to the right side. That's Alan Turner. He gets it into first down territory as he gets the ball down to the 42-yard line. Another Land of Frost first down, and they continue to move the ball down the field very methodically with 2:40 left to go until halftime. Junction City doing what they want to do right now.
Yeah, you love to see that. You know, they kind of swapped off the battle of the trenches pretty much, and now you see Junction City kind of taking over, getting a little more surge off that offensive line.
First and 10 at the 42. Handoff this time right side is stood up and knocked back is Larry. And Larry is going to be maybe a yard that he'll be credited for, but boy, he paid for that yard with a hard hit.
Oh, he sure did. And, you know, that's how you tell if the defense has intestinal fortitude. You get backed up a little bit, opposition gets some big runs, and then you step up, defensive lineman clog the hole, and then you see a big hit delivered by the linebacker.
Chris Jenkins, 248-pounder. Here again is Larry. This time he'll cut back to the left side. He'll pick up a few more yards, but he'll be dragged down again at the 37-yard line. Inside of 2 minutes to go, it'll be 3rd and 4. And in Junction City, it does nothing else. You know, by this drive, if they're not able to get another first down here and keep the ball, they will have taken a lot of time off the clock. And Bearden not what you would call a quick strike offense. So
absolutely, that's a good point.
You're not playing for the tie, but you're playing for no worse than a tie at halftime. 3rd down and 4. Handoff. First down. Turner gets it down to the 31-yard line. It'll be another Land of Frost first down with 1:21 left to go. And now you have to be, I don't want to say you have to be a little quicker about things, but if you're Junction City, you got to at least consider, do I put the ball in the air? Do I try to stretch the field a little bit here? Because now the clock will start rolling once they get the markers set. And it'll be 1:21 left to go here in the first half. You hate to not get some points if you can get yourself in a position down here.
Bearden defense has got to get set here.
1st and 10, clock rolling. Cutting back up the field. Getting another 10 yards on the carry. That's Kadarian Ross. We haven't called his name but a few times here this afternoon. That's his biggest run of the game. As he picks up 10, he's got now 24 on the afternoon. And it's close to another first down for the Junction City Dragons, and the officials are going to check to make sure with 1:06 left on the clock. Junction City was ready to say, hey, we don't care, just let us snap the football, okay? We're crying out loud.
I'll tell you what, if you're a football fan and you've been watching college football or even pro football, any level here these past few weeks, you understand how important time management is.
Oh, yes.
When the clock starts to run out after that first half, and namely the fourth quarter.
So it will be just a couple inches shy of the first down, so it'll be second and short. Just short of the 21-yard line. Looks like it's about 6 inches.
As far as I know, that clock will begin to run again as soon as they blow the whistle.
As soon as they get set, so Junction City is going to be up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to wait for the officials to indicate the play clock to begin. When they do, they'll be ready to snap the football. Be second down and short at the 21-yard line, just shy of the 21-yard line of the Bearden Bears. The Junction City Dragons trying to put an answer up of their own here as we are tied at 7-all. Cook, the quarterback, pitches it back out running room. He got the first down for sure and more. First down and inside the 15-yard line is Alan Turner. And Turner was, I guess not a horse collar, but boy, that was close to that was a hang on for dear life tackle.
Tell you what, Blaine Harris, you know, on that big run that Turner had early on in the game, Blaine Harris is the guy that came up and got caught standing up a little bit. As a cornerback, when you're one-on-one, you got to get low and move your feet. You got to be able to have lateral quickness.
This time I formation behind Cook. 2 receivers split out to the right side. The pitch back here to the near side. Ross with it. Has running room up the middle. Inside the 5-yard line. He's going to be short of the first down. They do have one timeout left. 35 seconds left on the clock. And Ross is holding his shoe, having to come off the field. And they're going to call time. Well, I thought they had called timeout. They're not. They're letting the clock roll. Second down and short inside the 5-yard line at the 4. 20 seconds on the clock.
I think they're going to run a play.
Hand off to the left side, into the touchdown. In for the touchdown. Kyle Darden lines up in the backfield, takes the handoff. The big fullback puts it in for 6 with 15 seconds left on the clock. Junction City answers back, takes it the length of the field, puts it in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Junction City.
Unbelievable. And you have to wonder if the Bearden defense didn't expect Junction City to come up and spike the ball or even call a timeout. Hey, they hurried up to the ball. It's almost like they called the 2 plays in the huddle beforehand.
Well, Junction City did not want to give Bearden the opportunity to set the defense. They felt like they could get the play off. They get the kickoff. It's up and good. And with 15 seconds left to go until halftime, we'll keep it right here, but it's 14-7. The Junction City Dragons lead over the Bearden Bears. Everything in this first half, Dusty, that we said that we expected to see, some things that we were afraid to see for Bearden, they've turned the ball over twice, and right now that is a big, big difference in this football game.
Yeah, it's been, kind of neat to see how these things have progressed into different things. A turnover leads to a touchdown on the other end, and it's just been fun just to see that seesaw momentum because it's switched sides so many times just in one half.
14-7 our score with 15.4 seconds left to go here in the first half of play. And big Byron Jones, 6'2", 297.
Makes Janikowski look like a shrimp.
Woo!
I would imagine he'd squib it.
And actually a pretty good little foot behind it there. Kicks it out of bounds. It'll be out at the 35-yard line. No time rolls off the clock, so it'll be 15.4 seconds left to go here in the first half of play. And now if you're Bearden, you're kind of, again, back on your heels. You've allowed 177 yards in the first half to Junction City. You're only used to giving up 140 for the game. So, and a lot of that, in fact, all but 1 yard of that has been on the ground.
Yeah, and this is, it's unfortunate.
Well, check that. All of that has been on the ground. My apologies. All of that has been on the ground.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that this is the first test that you get coming from playing from behind in the state championship, because you're so good. You're beating the tar out of people during the season. Even the Junction City and Bearden matchup, it was 14-0 in the fourth quarter. Junction City scored those 2 late touchdowns and then failed to score on a 2-point conversion. This might be the first time they've been behind all season.
I would think that you're probably right. I mean, when you see some of the scores and points that they put up on the board, I don't think that they've been behind much, if at all. They're going to re-kick this football and kick it back from the 35. Bearden trying to pick up some field position here. And it'll be caught at the 35, 40. Out to the 45, to midfield inside of the Dragon territory. It goes with 10 seconds left. So Bearden saying, you know what? We're not going to let you just kick it out of bounds. We're going to line up and make you kick it again, and we'll pick up some extra yardage here. Why not? 10 seconds left on the clock.
It'll be interesting to see what Cox elects to do here. I mean, looks like he's got his specialty players taking the field. They're talking it over. I mean, they may swing for the fence.
Well, they do average 78 yards a game, so it's not like that they don't pass the football.
Right. And you also have to take into account when you beat teams so badly, those stats are kind of skewed because you're sitting your starters by the time you get to the late second half.
Absolutely. Very true. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line of the Junction City Dragons. Bearden with the football will send 3 receivers to the left side, 2 here to the near side. Devontae Lowe, check that. It's not Lowe as the quarterback. It's Lowe who actually becomes the receiver. He gets the football looking for sideline room, and he will get the first down, and they'll get it just enough to stop the clock with 2 seconds left as he was able to get the first down.
Kind of surprising he didn't take that extra step towards the out-of-bounds line.
The quarterback that time was Caleb Clark, who lined up at quarterback. He's listed as a safety and a tight end, but he lined up at quarterback that time, delivered that pass out there, and Bearden's going to take the timeout. We'll keep it right here as we're out of timeouts for our TV coverage here for this first half. Remind you, coming up, we'll take a short break at halftime, and then we'll come back with the second half kickoff here on KARZ TV. And, Dusty, this has been fun. It's been an exciting first half.
Everything you could ask for.
Both teams, have things that they can be proud of, moving the football. The big thing Bearden has got to do, and that is protect the football.
That's right.
That is what they're going to have to do in the second half. And I believe, if my memory serves me right, that it will be Bearden who will get the ball to start the second half of play. So that's another positive.
That's generally what great champion-style teams do. They make adjustments at halftime.
Well, they're 14-0 on the season.
Tell you what, right now, if I'm the Junction City secondary, I'm making sure you don't go for an interception. The key is just jump up, bat the ball down,
and go
make
in
it hit
at
the ground.
And the defense is back. They're just going to back up and see what Bearden does here on this first down play with 2 seconds left to go. Back to go to the end zone. Oh, he's going to do the end zone. He's got a receiver, but it's picked off. Picked off in the end zone. Great defensive play. Rodney Larry, who had the big run for the touchdown, now has the big interception in the first half of play with our score Junction City 14 and the Bearden Bears 7. What a first half. We'll come back with some halftime comments and get ready for the second half right after this on KARZ TV 42. And welcome back at halftime of the Bearden and Junction City Class 2A State Championship game as the Bearden Band performs on the field for us here at halftime. And Dusty, it was really, in a lot of ways, exactly what we thought we'd see in the first half and what we anticipated we would see. I think the big surprise to me in that first half was the 2 turnovers by Bearden.
Yeah, especially, that turnover mention that turnover margin throughout the season that we're going to continue to mention.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to make its way down a little bit. I don't think we expected that.
No, plus 27, though, still on the season is not a bad mark. But really, it was also the interception at a point there. The interception made by Bearden, the turnover that they were able to get back, that I thought was going to be a turning point. But the big play, that 77-yard touchdown run by Rodney Larry was just, almost a backbreaker. But then an excellent job after Bearden took it back down, very methodical down the field, ate up a lot of clock, but they didn't eat up enough clock.
Right.
As they were able to turn around then, and Junction City, after the Bearden touchdown, was able to take it down the field, and with 15 seconds left in the first half, come up with a touchdown to take the lead here at halftime, 14-7.
Here's something I've always said about turnovers, and by the way, that run was electric. He was gone down that sideline, but I think I've always said about turnovers. A lot of times what fans of the team or even the coaches will say is that, hey, we went out and beat ourselves today. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the ability to hold on to the ball is no different than a fundamental play like making a right block.
Right.
So if you lose due to putting the ball on the ground, you were not as good as the other team. So I think that's something that I think that'll change quite a bit in the second half, knowing this team.
Well, and in the second half, there's been a little bit more rainfall at halftime, and in the first half, the ball is likely to be slicker. And both of these teams are running-powered football teams. They both really rely on the run, but they also have been very effective at stopping the run of their opponents across the season. But in the first half, 177 yards on 25 plays for Junction City, all of that on the ground. Out of the 144 yards on 27 plays by Bearden, 35 of that through the air and 109 on the ground. Leading rusher in the first half, Rodney Larry, of course, with that 77-yard touchdown run, had 5 carries for 93 yards. On the other side of the ledger, it was the quarterback, DeFonte Lowe, with 11 carries and 52 yards to lead the way for Bearden. In the first half, 8 first downs for Junction City and 10 for Bearden. And again, the big stat that jumps out at you, the 2 lost fumbles by Bearden, the 1 interception by Junction City. And time of possession, pretty equal, 12-14 and 11-46. Both teams were 2 of 4 on third down, and just 1 fourth down play run by Bearden. They were 0 for 1 on going forward on fourth down. So as we get ready to come back for the second half, it promises to be, again, I think pretty much the same story we saw in the first half, and it's going to be the team that makes the least amount of mistakes and the team that's able to capitalize on any mistakes that are made by the other team that will, I think, come away with the state title here. It's 14-0 Bearden, 12-1 Junction City. It's a ball game.
2 best teams in the state, and we got the best seat in the house.
From high above War Memorial Stadium, we'll come back with the second half right after this on KARZ TV 42. Welcome back here to War Memorial Stadium. Rashad Beats is back deep, but I don't expect him to get the football, as neither one of these two teams have used the standard kickoff package here in this football game. Both of them doing the little pooch kicks to the sideline or something. And I don't know that it's not because I look at the foot of both of these kickers, and they've kicked it, fairly long. I guess it's just the way that they both choose to run their kicking game. And it'll be number 54, Byron Jones, who will kick it off for the Dragons. It'll be taken at the 20-yard line after the 25. Loses his shoe, but stays on his feet to the 40, the 45, all the way up to the 48-yard line. Good field position for Bearden, who'll start this second half. That is Jarrell Moore, the senior, cornerback and punter and kickoff returner on that play. Let's take a look at the Bearden offensive line here today. It's Jonathan Emsley is the tight end. It's David L. Collins, DeMarcy Berry, Javelin Ross, Deontay Douglas, Chris Jenkins, who are the offensive linemen for the Bearden Bears here this afternoon. Rashad Beats, Alan Holmes, and Ricky Brown, and Connor Mosley are the backs. And the quarterback is Stephante Lowe, who's had a good quarterback and half for the sophomore for the Bearden Bears. We'll set the defensive lineup for you here in just a moment. It's 1st and 10. They mark it right at the 50-yard line. Good field position to start the second half for the Bears. And it's Brown with the handoff, still staying on his feet. Good pursuit by the Junction City defense. They'll actually mark him back for almost a 2-yard loss. But Brown, and a little bit of action on the field. These two teams, that they are both coming out here fired up for this second half.
Yeah, no surprise right there.
Taking a look at the defensive lineup for the Junction City Dragons here this afternoon. Kyle Darden, Deverick Wright, Byron Jones, Walker Cannon, and Brent Gorman are the front five for the defense. The linebackers, Pumphrey Owens, and the cornerbacks are Larry and Cook. The safeties, Ross and Turner. Second down and called at about 12. Back to pass is Lowe. He's being pursued. He gets away from one defender. Close to a block in the back, but no flag. And Lowe's got a running room all the way in down to the 43-yard line. Looked for the flag. It was close to a block in the back there on the coverage, but he got out of trouble and came up with good positive yardage down to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, you probably could have made the call there, but as a defense, when you read all your keys, you're staying at home, and the mobile quarterback still gets loose, that's so frustrating because there's absolutely nothing you can do about that. The sophomore quarterback making the play on his own.
And that's the thing to keep in mind with this Bearden team. This guy is just a sophomore. He's been very effective, very poised in running this offense this afternoon. Yeah. He's not always I don't want to say he's not always the quarterback, but he's not always the person receiving the snap, put it that way, as they have been running that kind of wildcat formation at times. He does get the snap this time. Again, has running right the left side. Low down to the 40. He's to the 35. Looking to break it down to the 30, down to the 29-yard line of first down for Stephante Lowe as he continues his running ways here this afternoon with a big pickup on third down.
I'll tell you what, aside from that big run, Deontay Douglas, the pulling guard for Bearden, he basically blocked two defenders. He had that defensive end and the linebacker both sealed off for Junction City. That opened up room for the quarterback, and you always have to give credit to the big guys who make those holes.
Now, how big does that touchdown before first half loom for Junction City as Bearden coming out here on the opening possession of the second half, down by 7, as opposed to looking for the lead here? Oh, the little things that can make a difference. 1st and 10, another Land of Frost first down for the Bearden Bears. Back deep in the gun is Lowe. He'll take it, and whistle will blow, and we'll get our first penalty of the second half as we're going to see motion, I believe, by the Bearden offense before the play got underway. Let's go to the field. Mike Boyd.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. You repeat second down.
So to be second down and a mark off or first down. He caught himself, we caught him ourselves, and it's 1st and 15 from back at the 34-yard line. Hope the turnover or hope a penalty again doesn't thwart a good opening drive here in the second half for the Bearden Bears. This time, single receiver split far right side, 2 to the left side. Well, and again, And again, somebody jumps on the front line for the Bearden Bears, and it'll be another 5-yard mark off. Big mistake there for the Bears, as now they will be faced with 2nd down and 20. Let's go back to Mike Boyd. Well, he wants to confer first with the other official. Now we'll go to Mr. Boyd.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. Repeat, 1st down.
So 2 penalties right there, and all of a sudden, instead of being just knocking on the door, now you're set up with a long 1st down. The advantage for Bearden, at least it's 1st and 20 as opposed to 2nd or 3rd and 20, and the rain starts to get a little heavier here at War Memorial. Devontae Lowe, quarterback, sophomore, drops back to pass on 1st down. Has good coverage, good time, finds a wide open receiver down inside the 20 to the 15. Gets the 1st down and more all the way down to Allen Holmes, and Holmes, the tight end, came across and he was wide open as he got between the linebackers and the secondary.
I'll tell you what, I mean, you would never tell this quarterback is a sophomore. You know, he stepped up in the pocket to elude the rush of Byron Jones. He had a tight end streaking across the middle. Like you said, he got in between those safeties, broke that cover 2, found an open spot, and just a strike right there.
Great pass, great catch, good yards after catch, gets it all the way down into the red zone to the 14-yard line. The Bearden Bears are knocking on the door with 10:25 to go here in the 3rd quarter, trying to tie this football game. 2 receivers to the right side this time for Lowe, 2 to the left. Brown is the single back, and he looks and Lowe says, I don't like what I see in the defensive set, so I'm going to call timeout. Good decision down inside the red zone. So a timeout on the field with 10:14 left to go here in the 3rd quarter of play from War Memorial Stadium, the 2A state championship game, and our leader is Junction City, 14-7 over the Bearden Bears. We'll be back after this on KARZ TV 42. Welcome back, War Memorial Stadium. It's 1st down and 10 inside the 15-yard line. And Dusty, you made a good point while we were away at break. A great job by the sophomore quarterback, Devontae Lowe, running this offense, getting them out of that 1st and 20 with a big play. Now it's 1st and 10 inside the 15-yard line. Back to pass. Takes it down and is forced to fumble on the play. Let's see, they're saying that he was down before the fumble. As we saw Mike Boyd, the referee here this afternoon, make it very clear that he was down before he lost that football. 2nd down and 12 after a loss of 2 on the play.
A collective sigh of relief on our side over here.
We are on the Bearden side as we sit up here in the soon-to-be remodeled press box here at War Memorial Stadium. We are the last folks to do a TV game from this venue. I don't know if you realize that, but this is the last day that this press box venue will be used in this way. So they're rebuilding facilities here and updating at War Memorial. On 2nd and 12, keeps it himself. Lowe gets it down inside, picks up about, we're going to call it about 5 on the carry. It'll be 3rd down and 7 at about the 12-yard line.
I think something else, this quarterback out here, when he goes around, he's making plays on his own, kind of sidestepping the rush, and he's running across the field when the play breaks down. All of a sudden, if I'm Junction City, your eyes start to wander in that backfield. You start watching that quarterback a little more. You know, maybe some counter plays, or you're not watching other guys. I mean, you can get caught off your guard.
Well, you hope that as a sophomore quarterback, he doesn't have a lot of experience in that, but you hope that he can sense that and know when to make the right checkoff possibly. 3 receivers to the left side this time for Lowe. He's looking left side all the way. Has an open receiver and it's picked off. Oh, and dropped. Picked off at the end zone line and dropped by Kadarian Ross. Kadarian Ross sat back there. The receiver was open there, Gerald Moore, for a moment, but Ross just sat back there, made his break at the right time, almost comes up with the pick, but at least knocks it down.
Well, it's almost like you hopped into your DeLorean and looked into the future. Whew, that's exactly what happened. He was looking left the entire way. Actually had number 32, Ricky Brown, out in the flats. He was open. Instead, he went for that touchdown strike and dodged a bullet.
So now the Bearden Bears are going to attempt a field goal. They've got a straight-on kicker, and they're having a hurry here to get the play underway. They get the kick up, and it is no good to the right. Off to the right and no good, and the Junction City Dragons withstand the opening drive in the second half for the Bearden Bears and come away with no points scored against them, and that defense breathing a big, deep sigh of relief after the Bearden Bears got it down to the 12-yard line.
Yeah, we talked about plus 28 a lot for Bearden. How about 9 shutouts for Junction City? That's another amazing stat. And, you know, Bearden has had their way offensively, but bend but don't break mentality for Junction City seems to be working.
So the Junction City Dragons will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line to start their first possession of the second half with 8:36 left to go here in the third quarter. And the rain gets heavier here at War Memorial. Handoff right side, spinning around. Again, that is Ross, and Ross gets up to about the 26-yard line for a pickup of 6.
I would imagine we'd see more of Darian Ross here in the second half with Rodney Leary, Alan Turner getting the bulk of the carries. Always helps to have that third wheel step up and take some of the pressure off.
Ross, a big part of that state championship last year for Junction City. It's nice to have a lot of weapons, especially at 2A where you normally, it comes down where you've got 2 or 3 key players. Junction City with a lot more than that. Coming back into the near side and whipped out of bounds after about a 1-yard, maybe 2-yard loss. That was number 5. That was Larry on the carry.
It's actually one of the few times you see Larry get a little bit antsy. He didn't really wait on his blockers that time.
I think we've got a call on the field here.
Personal foul, face mask against the defense. The 15-yard penalty, first down.
I thought I saw that, but I never saw the flag, and so that's why I did not say anything. But it looked like that as they were spinning Larry out of there, somebody got a hold of that face mask, and it was enough for the first down. So a big break for Junction City, and again, a potentially costly error right there. Instead of being 3rd and about 5 or 6 for the first down, now it's 1st and 10 out at the 38-yard line for Junction City, who comes back out again now in the wishbone formation. Cook hands off to the right side, and this time Ross going to go nowhere, and the Bearden defense comes up big, dropping him back for about a 2-yard loss on first down.
Chris Jenkins leading the charge. You also saw Deontay Douglas in there. So the guys next to the soon-to-be Oklahoma State Cowboy, David L. Collins, also pulling their weight. And even on that last play, the 15-yard face mask, the pursuit was there.
Yeah.
So Bearden's getting in the right spots.
Just avoid mistakes like personal foul, face mask. 7:20 to go here in the third quarter of play. It's 14-7 Junction City with the lead and the football. Facing a 2nd down and 12. Pitch back again comes to Ross, and Ross again gets positive yardage, this time up to about the 39, maybe the 40-yard line, but it'll set up a 3rd and long, a 3rd and call it 8 for the first down.
Oh, it's decision time for Junction City, but one adjustment you've seen from the Bearden defense, they're still in that base 5-2. But the defensive tackles, they aren't rushing upfield. And what I mean by that is early on in the game, those defensive tackles, they would take off into the backfield, essentially creating the hole.
So to be 3rd down, and actually they're going to call it closer to 9 as they mark it back at the 39-yard line. Now they'll split out of the bone with Larry. They'll come back here to the left side looking for blockers, getting it up there. And ball is loose again, but I believe the Junction City is going to cover that one. They do. It's the indication that time Alan Turner had it squeeze out of his hands again, and but he is able to get it back. It'll be 4th down and 4 for Junction City in a kicking situation. So good job for the Bearden defense. When you take that personal foul out, this is where they really were set up before that call, and so now they do get the result of that. So while it's not 3 and out, it's 6 and out, which is almost as good. It's out. You know, as long as they've got the and out part.
That's what matters.
5:52 here. Let's see what kind of field position the Bears can come up. Good punt that time. Going to be taken at the 22 and wrapped up immediately. Yes, he was. It looked like that Moore wanted there for a bit to try to get out of there, but good coverage.
Tell you what, that's Jacob Pumphrey. He's the deep snapper, and he makes a beeline straight to the ball after the punt. I guess I initially thought that none of those punt team members are supposed to take off down the field until the ball was actually kicked, but
he's got such blazing speed.
He sure does.
Blazing speed. The 24-yard line will be the line of scrimmage for this Land Frost first down for the Bearden Bears as they'll start their second drive of the first half. The first drive, or of the second half, first drive of the second half They were able to take it down, get it into the red zone, but not able to come away with points after the mixed field goal. So this now becomes an important opportunity for the Bearden offense, who moved the ball well on that opening drive. Let's see if they can keep that momentum going. Two receivers to the left side. Lowe will keep it himself and take it up to about the 27-yard line, pick up a 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Now, nothing complicated about that.
Just a simple straight ahead, and let me see how far I can run with this before you tackle me kind of play.
You know, you pay attention to the movement on the defensive line for Junction City. Byron Jones a lot of the times lines up at that nose guard or the defensive tackle in the A or the B gap. Now they've kind of moved him to defensive end, depending on where the ball is or what formation there is, possibly to get an extra man for a pass rush.
And back to pass is Lowe on 2nd down. Wide open receiver again. That's it, his target all afternoon, Allen Holmes. He's got another big catch out to the 41-yard line. It'll be 1st down for the Bearden Bears. Another Land of Frost 1st down.
Tell you what, they don't pass very often, but they pass at the right times.
Today's game brought to you by Chevrolet here on KARZ TV 42. Glad to have Chevrolet on board, as well as Wendy's. Now we need to start looking for our Wendy's biggie hit of the game and our Wendy's big play of the game. Right now, the big play, I think there's a 77-yard touchdown run that looms really large.
Yep.
Junction City can hold on here. That certainly has to be considered. On 1st down, out to Brown, and it is caught and dropped and incomplete.
Tell you what, that play is designed. It's a flare out to Ricky Brown. And number 7 for Bearden, he split out Gerald Moore. He's the outside receiver. After Brown catches that flare route, Moore comes in and tries to sneak in a crack block. So the ball carrier can get to the outside of him. It looked like Brown might have tripped over his feet, actually, and jarred the ball loose. But that play was open.
2nd and 10 for the Bearden Bears, trailing by 7. 14-7 here in the 3rd quarter. 4:36 left to go here in this quarter. So the range lightens up a little bit here at War Memorial on this cold Saturday, December afternoon. Back to pass and then wrapped. Oh, my goodness. Guess what, folks? The Wendy's biggie hit of the game has just been delivered by Byron Jones in the backfield on quarterback Defonte Lowe, who looked like for a second he was going to have some running room. And Jones said, I'm going to hit you Big 12 style.
Big 12, Big 12, can't talk. That was a hit.
Wendy's biggie hit of the game right there. Byron Jones, the 6'2", 300-pound, call him that. There's no 297 out there on that big boy. 300-pound nose tackle for Junction City.
A lot of times on that quarterback draw, the offense will intentionally let the defensive tackle through. Generally, they're over pursue and create a hole, but this is Byron Jones we're talking about
That's
here.
Right. You know, rule number 1, don't ever just let Byron Jones through, okay? Pass out. Intended headers receiver again, looking that time for Holmes, but couldn't make the connection. And it'll be 4th and, about 16. It'll be a kicking situation for the Bearden Bears. So credit that to Byron Jones with the Wendy's biggie hit of the game, creating this 4th down, because that was just an amazing just pop on that 3rd down.
Good lateral quickness. And you know what happens to a quarterback after he takes a big hit?
Whew.
Gets a little more timid, and he misses wide open throws like that 3rd down.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Gerald Moore is the punter. He's the senior. He'll stand back at the 23-yard line.
Junction City is still in their base defense.
A high snap, but a good snap nonetheless. The kick is off. Kind of a short one. Does take a Bearden roll as it'll roll down around the 25-yard line. Inside the 25 to the 24 will be down. And with 3:26 left to go here in this 3rd quarter, we'll take a timeout and come back. You're watching high school football on KARZ TV 42. Welcome back here to War Memorial Stadium. 14-7 our score. Junction City with the lead, and now the football at the 25-yard line. And a big thanks goes to Byron Jones for Junction City getting this football back after the biggie hit of the game. Brought to you by Wendy's. This 1st down carry out to the 30-yard line for about 5 yards. And again is Larry on the carry. That sounds kind of like Larry on the carry.
You're starting to see David L. Collins on the defensive end spot, he's starting to get a little frustrated as Junction City's picking up big chunks. And a lot of times, playmaker defensive ends like that, they'll kind of take themselves out of position trying to make plays, and that's when you can catch them later on in the game with a counter right towards them.
So it'll be 2nd down and 5 for Junction City. Right side.
Number 2, Ross carries.
And the carry is going to be up to about the 28-yard line. Pick up a 3. It'll be 3rd and short. Collins, he's a little bit frustrated, like you say out there. It's like, okay, come on, let's get back on top of this thing.
That's right. That's right. And you saw him on that last play. He pursued the ball flat down the line and made the tackle on the opposite end. And I don't think there's any doubt what this place is going to be, what this next play is going to be. It's going to be smash mouth on both sides of the ball, 3rd and inches.
Mano a mano here on 3rd down. And the mono of Junction City carries forward for the 1st down as he gets across the 35 out to close to the 36-yard line.
I'll tell you what, that's as simple as it gets. It's a variation of the power I. Everybody's pretty much loaded to the left side. There's only 2 players. And they just lined up and ran a dodge straight toward the heavy set and said, here, come stop us.
1st and 10 for Junction City. With the football moving right to left as you look at your screen here today. In the purple and gold. Pitch back. Ross, he's got running room right side. And
man.
And the ball is loose. No signal yet. The ball was jarred loose.
Says they have it.
And Bearden says they have it, and they do. Bearden on a big hit. Boy, there's another candidate for that piggy hit of the game. And that was delivered by Gerald Moore as he just went up and walloped Ross and knocked the ball loose. And now Bearden with great field position at the 39-yard line.
I mean, JR, that's the punter. That's the punter. Then obviously he disagreed with your choice for Wendy's big hit of the day.
I think he heard and said, you ain't seen me hit yet. Coming up from his quarterback position, he delivered a wallop on Ross and jarred the ball loose and covered by the Bears. It'll be 1st and 10 inside of Dragon territory for the Bearden Bears.
Now Bearden gets their own opportunity to capitalize on a turnover.
Team that takes advantage of the mistakes of the other. Brown to the left side. Brown digging for yardage, picks up 2 down to the 37-yard line.
That seems to be a common thing for Ricky Brown. There's usually a yellow jersey dragging behind him.
He has got some good legs on him. I'll tell you what, he can carry a tackler, defender for several yards, and shows it again there. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Bearden Bears. Again, a reminder, if you'd like to have a DVD copy of this game for your own library, we'd love to send you one. It's AAA offer at cranemedia.com. That's AAA offer at cranemedia.com. 2nd down and 8. Fonte Lowe, the sophomore quarterback, back in the gun. Looks to run, instead pulls back up to pass. Has an open receiver at the 10, down to the 6-yard line. On the catch, Blaine Harris, his first catch of the football game, and it's a big one as the Bearden Bears are inside the 10-yard line, 1st and goal at the 6.
Unbelievable. He continues to make plays. Don't tell anybody that kid's a sophomore. I don't think if we didn't have a roster, I don't think anybody in this place would believe it.
Makes you want to say, surely that's a typo, because he has shown some amazing poise here this afternoon. Has shown a good arm at times. He's now 5 of 10 for 94 yards, a touchdown, and now they are knocking on the door here at the 6-yard line of the Junction City Dragons. Trailing by 7.
Confusion up front for Junction City.
And trying to take advantage of it is the quarterback Lowe, who picks up 5 and gets it down to 2nd and goal at the 2.
I mean, just watch the mannerisms of Junction City defense right now. They're kind of just beside themselves after that big play. You know, the first rule of a cornerback is never get beat deep. And that's what happened right there. And I'll tell you what, you look at some of them slouched over, some with their hands on their hip.
Got to show some character down here now with your backs against the wall. 2nd down and 2. 2nd and goal at the 2. The direct snap to Brown. Brown trying to move the pile. Not going to get it in the end zone. He's going to be short about less than a yard. Maybe they'll mark it at a yard, as they will mark it at the 1-yard line at the end of 3 quarters of football. Our score is Junction City 14, Bearden 7. We'll be back with the fourth quarter of a great 2A state championship game right after this on KARZ TV 42. Well, as we get ready to start this fourth quarter, we are less than a yard away from this state 2A championship game being all tied between Bearden and Junction City, as the Bearden Bears are now 3rd and goal inside the 1 of what has been an outstanding, well-played, fun football game here at War Memorial Stadium.
Absolutely. I think any football enthusiast will tell you, you don't need a heavy passing game to have a good time.
This is smash-mouth football at its best, and right here, I have a feeling that's exactly what you're going to see on this 3rd and short.
There's no trick play. I'm looking for Ricky Brown, the guy who keeps his feet moving.
It'll be Lowe who lines up in the gun. We'll see if they direct snap it to Brown. It'll be 3rd and goal. It's a high snap, but into the end zone. It's Lowe.
Ball's loose.
But he was into the end zone before. Let's see that one official from either side indicating touchdown, saying that he was in, broke the plane, and once he breaks the plane, the ball is loose. It don't matter. He breaks the plane. It's a touchdown, and we are one extra point away from being tied here in the fourth quarter of the state 2A championship game.
Well, you would expect Junction City to argue about it, but I tell you what, a big sophomore quarterback, he's made the plays all day, just lowered his shoulder, surged ahead. He got pushed back a little bit, but he had already crossed the plane, like you said.
So it will be still on for the extra point for Bearden. The kick is up, and it is good. We are tied at 14 with 11:55 left to go in regulation of this football game. We'll be back after this. You're watching the State 2A championship game between Bearden and Junction City on KARZ TV 42. Welcome back. We are all tied at 14 all. This is the Junction City Dragons' 4th trip to the state finals. They're trying to go back-to-back here. Overall, in this decade, only Nashville has won more games than Junction City. But right now, we have decided nothing over 36 minutes and 5 seconds of play. It'll be Bearden taking advantage of the turnover to put it into the end zone.
You look at the kick formation, it looks like for the first time we're going to see a deep kickoff.
It'll be Gerald Moore. Check that. It's DeFonte Lowe who actually kicks it, and Pooch kicks it up to about the 37-yard line. So let's see. He's the quarterback. He's passing. He's running. Oh, you know what? Let's let him kick the football too. It'll be 1st and 10 there for the Junction City Dragons. Again, with a little bit of a short field. Starting up at their own 37-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, and the Bearden defense going to try to play off the emotion of what that offense did. Oh, it's mostly the same guys.
You know, it's kind of surprising about those kickoffs, because both these teams have had a lot of practice kicking the ball off this year. And listen to this crowd.
The Bearden bunch underneath us. Junction City crew on the far side. From the broken bone, and we're going to get a motion penalty.
That's that tailback.
That tailback pulled up just before the snap, anticipating. That was Alan Turner.
First down.
And so it'll be a 5-yard mark off. And the Bearden fans think, you know what? We caused that. We caused it. We got him all jumpy.
Yep.
So they're going to try to make some more noise here as they come to the line of scrimmage on 1st now and 15 for the Junction City Dragons.
You don't expect anything less than the state championship.
On a cold, drizzly December afternoon for football. 1st and 15. The handoff to Turner. Turner gets it up to about close to the original line of scrimmage for a pickup of close to 5. It'll be 2nd down and call it 10.
Sounded like I was listening to Steve Sable, the frozen tundra over here.
Now that guy's got a voice. I just talk for a living. It'll be 2nd down and 10. As the Junction City Dragons trying to regain some momentum in a quarter really that was dominated by Bearden, not just because of the 7 points they put up on the board, But even the way that they moved the football when they didn't get the conversion on the field goal, when they moved it down, they've had good execution. Junction City defense has bent and not broke except for that one touchdown. Turner left side looking for running room, cuts back up to the 40, out to the 45, still digging on his feet up close to first down yardage. He'll be close to it out at the 47-yard line. And depending on a right foot or left foot mark, we talk about this all the time.
I don't understand. Where's the yellow line on the field?
If you're watching on TV, you haven't been to a football game to realize that that's not really on the field?
I never knew.
You never knew. You always saw it on the TV thinking it's got to be.
Yep.
Modern technology, but this is just old-fashioned football here, and it's going to be about 6 inches short. Going to be about, maybe not even that, maybe 4 inches short of the first down. But they will have third and short.
That's still a big run by Turner. He's building up that yards after contact. And I've spoke to a running backs coach at the collegiate level. One thing he told me, he said a lot of these specialty players at the high school level, they have talent. But he's looking at running backs kind of with that workhorse mentality. Do they get stronger as the game progresses?
Right.
I think we've seen that from both teams.
It'll be third and short. Bearden Bears wanted to make a stand right here. Junction City trying to keep the drive alive. We're in the fourth quarter, 11 minutes left to go in the ball game. All tied at 14. The handoff, first down and more, and getting into Bear territory. Junction City. And I believe that was Turner on the carry. It was, big number 3. Alan Turner, the 6-foot, 188-pound senior. We've got an injury on the field. An official's timeout on the field for an injury has one of the Bearden Bears. And I believe, I'm trying to check and see, it looks like it may be 24. That is John Bradley, the big middle linebacker, 6', 190 senior. While they take a look at him, we'll take a break and come back. Our score is all tied at 14 with 10:50 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's the State 2A Football Championship game at War Memorial Stadium, presented by the Arkansas Activities Association and presented to you this afternoon by Chevrolet, Wendy's, and Land of Frost. We'll be back on KARZ TV 42. The middle linebacker, John Bradley, helped off the field for the Bearden Bears. He's been productive this afternoon, in on 7 tackles here this afternoon and has a half sack. He goes to the sideline, and what may be it for the day for Bradley. It's first and 10, just inside Bear territory. This time again coming out of the bone. In the wishbone formation is Cook. He'll hand off again to Turner. Turner plowing again for yardage. Gets it inside the 45, down to the 44. Pickup of about 6 on the play.
Tell you what, you look at the way these teams fire off on the offensive line. A lot of these offensive linemen aren't that big. But, of course, my old football coach, Coach Jim Stanley, I think he worked with you last week. One thing he always said, that battle is won those first 1 or 2 steps.
Right.
Doesn't matter how big you are, it's that surge off the line.
It'll be second down and 4 at the at the 44-yard line. Needs to get down to just inside the 40-yard line for the first down. Turner, left side, has running room and run out of bounds before he can get to the 40-yard line. It'll be third and short there for Junction City. Since returning to Junction City in 1996, Coach Carpenter of the Junction City Dragons has guided them to 140 victories, an average of 10 wins a season. And when you consider they won a combined 7 games in 96 and 97, that ought to tell you that he's turned this program back around, and it is one of the perennials in the state.
I'll tell you what, once you fall off that top, it's so hard to get back up to that peak, and here they are.
Third and about a yard. They mark it at the 41. First down and more inside the 35, almost down to the 30. It'll call about the 32-yard line on the carry that time. And it'll be another Land of Frost first down.
Junction City now 5 for 8 on third downs. More importantly, 2 for 2 in the fourth quarter.
Money time when they really count. It'll be first and 10 at the 32. Junction City, first big drive of the second half for the Dragons. Left side. On the carry is Darden. Darden, the fullback, gets it down to the 25-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 3 from there. So Junction City firing off the line, finding holes. You know, they're not picking up a lot at the time. They're picking up 5, 6, 7 yards on first down, creating some short yardage situations and just grinding it out on the ground as the clock rolls down inside of 9 minutes to go here in this regulation of the state championship game, all tied at 14.
You haven't seen as much of Rodney Larry. You have to wonder if those fresh legs later in the fourth quarter, if he'll pop off another big one.
It's 2nd and 4. And getting it to, that's not Larry, that is Ross. And Ross gets the first down and just about breaks it towards the end zone, but he gets down to the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for Ross and the Junction City Dragons. So many weapons in that backfield. You've got Rodney Larry with 96 yards already. Alan Turner with 70 yards. Ross now with 45 and add on another 10 there. And you've got Chris Darden with 27 yards. I mean, there's just so many weapons back there for Junction City here this afternoon. And the quarterback's only carried it once for 2 yards. He hands it off again, and Darden this time, as they will mark him back, they mark the line of scrimmage back at the 13, so it'll be 1st and 10 from there, makes it 2nd now and 5 as he gets the ball down inside the 10-yard line to the 9.
If you didn't see who made the initial contact in the backfield on that run, that was none other than Mr. John Bradley, back in the game at middle linebacker.
And I'll tell you what, folks, when he came off there the way he was walking, I thought, nah, he ain't going to get back out there. He's like, are you kidding? I'm a senior. This may be the final time I line up and put the pads on. 2nd down and call it 5 inside the 10-yard line at the 9. And we are going to get the little yellow hanky out on the field, and I believe we're going to have a procedure call. Let's go down to the field once again.
Well, I think that might be on Bearden,
Dead
actually.
ball, encroachment on the defense. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
And because of that half the distance, it's not enough for the first down, so it will be 2nd down now and short.
Well, and discipline always prevails. You know, a sign of a good team is a team that can vary the snap count. And I know that doesn't seem like much, but on the high school level, that's really hard to do. You get used to the same cadence as we have a stoppage of play here.
And a timeout going to be called by Junction City. They want to talk about it down here inside the 5-yard line. We'll take the timeout and come back as well. Our score is 14-14, but Junction City down inside the 5-yard line trying to retake the lead when we come back. You're watching the 2A state championship game on KARZ TV 42. And welcome back here to War Memorial Stadium. We're in the 4th quarter of the 2A state championship game between Junction City and Bearden. We're all tied at 14, but Junction City inside the 5-yard line on 2nd and short. Handoff left side, spinning around. Going to be close to the first down. I'll have to see. It'll just kind of depend on where they mark it. Spun down all the way back at the 9-yard line, but forward progress is going to be given for Junction City. And on the carry that time, I believe that is Hayes. Denzel Hayes, the junior. And it's going to be, well, no gain is what they're going to say. So to be, again, 3rd and short at the 4-yard line. All right, big play. Bearden Bears defense needs to stand up right here. Try to force a field goal attempt, possibly. If you could come up with a couple-yard loss, you really would put them in that position where they'd have to consider the field goal. The handoff. Darden's got it. He's got the first down. Not going to get into the end zone, but he does get down inside the 2. It'll be 1st and goal right there for Junction City.
Well, credit to Darden, but that's all credit to the offensive line.
That offensive line surge got it done.
1st and goal it is.
So 1st and goal for the Junction City Dragons. Trying to get back up on the board. Their first points of the second half after leading at halftime 14-7. You'll remember last year, this game came down to the final drive and the final play. We could be headed for that same kind of excitement here this afternoon. On the left side, that's again Hayes, and Hayes not going to get anywhere. May actually end up losing a yard. They may give him credit back to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that.
You know, occasionally you hear the old cliche, it goes to the team who wants it the most. You can't make that distinction right now.
No, both of these teams want this. You can see it in the way that they're playing and battling. Junction City trying to go for 2-0 in the last 2 trips to the state finals, while Bearden trying to complete the perfect season and a 15-0 mark. Second down and goal. At the 3, the pitch. Back up inside is Turner, and Turner's not going to get much more than just beyond the line of scrimmage. It's going to set up a 3rd and goal at the 3, and after having 1st and goal at the 3, that is not what Coach Carpenter was hoping to have as the result.
But here's the money stat of the drive, JR. Junction City 3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions just on this drive alone. So Bearden defense gets one more shot at it. I mean, they look upbeat.
Let's see what happens here.
It's almost like they believe they can stop Junction City right now.
We're going to find out as they line it up. Favoring that stacked backfield to the left side. They're going to run left, and
it's a broken play.
Broken play and tackle for a loss. Back behind the line of scrimmage is Antoine Cook. Getting inside, guess who? Big number 55, David L. Collins, along with number 10, Alan Holmes, and they all converged on the quarterback and got the sack. Also, I believe in there on the tackle was big number 30. That is Adam Lawson, the senior linebacker, who gets the credit for the sack. So a field goal kicking situation right now. First attempt at a ball game for either team. Snap will be made from the 7 back to the 15. The kick is up. It is good.
Big kick.
Junction City takes the lead 17-14, and we've got 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go for what could be the final drive towards 15-0, or the final drive towards 2 in a row for a state championship. We'll find out when we come back after this on KARC TV 42. 15 plays, 57 yards for the touchdown for the field goal rather for Junction City. They lead 17-14. We've got 4:40 up on the clock here. This could be the drive of the game. And that kick could be our Wendy's big play of the game, or it may come on defense. We're going to find out the next 4:40. Gerald Moore has the football on the kickoff. He gets up close to the 40-yard line, going to be knocked out of bounds at the 39, and that's where Bearden will start this possession.
If I'm Bearden, right now my aim is to get one of those drives that just chew up the clock, a good 5 or 6 minute. You got decent field position, hold on to the ball, and you can get that score, and you keep that clock down far enough, you'll be in good position.
4:33, that's what's up on the clock. That's the number to keep in mind. The Bearden Bears, not only do they want to get down there and get a touchdown, they want to eat up that clock in the process. Junction City has 2 timeouts. Bearden has 2 timeouts. The ball is 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Championships are made on drives like this. Who's going to come up, the defense or the offense? The snap to Brown. Brown picks up 2, maybe 3 yards as he's knocked down at the 42-yard line after the first down carry. Looked like that was almost a broken play. But he spun around, saw a load back further maybe than what he anticipated it being, decided to take it forward himself. Or that could always be that little setup.
Yep. And one more side story that we can look at. How will the sophomore quarterback respond never being in this situation before?
First of all, he's going to respond by splitting out to the right side. Again in the Wildcat formation. Brown hands it off to Lowe. Lowe looking for running room. Trying to get to the corner, gets it. He's under 45, falls down though before he can turn it back upfield. He's going to fall short of the first down, but he does get up to the 47-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Well, you have to wonder if some of that is intentional. Putting the more experienced senior Ricky Brown taking the snaps. Nevertheless, they still go to Lowe, and how about that play? That was one of the big-time players on both sides of the ball for Junction City. Keadarian Ross got outside. He was the last line of defense, and yet another 3rd down in the 4th quarter.
3rd and 2. This time he hands it off and wants to throw it. He's got a receiver, but he overthrows him by about 7 inches. Had the open receiver out on the field. Did Lowe. James Hill, another sophomore, was out there. I believe that was Hill, or was that number 5?
That looked like Hill.
It was Hill, number 8, who was the intended receiver out there. And now it's 4th and 2. Oh my goodness, this could be our Wendy's big play of the game. Can the Junction City defense come up big? Everybody on their feet, including yours truly in the booth, to see this 4th and 2. Bearden with the football and jumping offsides.
That's the center. He moved the ball, I think.
Let's see. Junction City saying it's the center, and Bearden's wanting to indicate, and it is going to be an offensive foul.
Ball start on the offense. Be a 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So the defense reacted to the offense. All I saw initially was the defensive jump. And now it goes from 4th and 2 to 4th and 7. And Bearden has to reconsider, and I think that they're sending more out on the field. I think they're going to punt it with 3:09 left to go in the ball game and hope that their defense can come up big and get the ball back. They trail by 3, 17-14.
Bill Belichick may disagree, but that's the only option right now.
You wonder if you've got that fake. No, they are going for it. They are splitting a receiver out to either side. Moore came into the game, but not to punt. 4th and 7. Here's your ball game. Pressure. Flo gets the pass off. He had an open receiver, and he could not get the ball to him. It falls incomplete with 3:04 left to go. The ball will go over on downs at the 42-yard line of the Bearden Bears to Junction City.
Unbelievable. That will keep you on the edge of your seat.
Devontae Lowe had his receiver open. He was being pressured from the backside. Don't know if he then felt that, was not able to stand, plant, and really zip that ball out there. Had to throw it on the run, and as it was, it came up short.
You know, you think that a quarterback can always feel that pressure, but Blaine Harris, that split-out receiver, he somehow got 10 yards behind the secondary. Tell you what, it's a game of a few feet.
Oh, my goodness.
But it's not over yet. It's in the hands of the defense. I'm not sure how many timeouts Bearden has left.
Each team with 2 timeouts left. 17-14 our score. Junction City with the football and the lead.
Look at him hold on to the ball with 2 hands.
Wrapping that thing up like a baby. He pounds forward for about 5, and at what point, if you are Bearden, do you start trying to stop the clock?
Yep.
You don't do it on 2nd down necessarily, but if they can come up with a 3rd and somewhat long situation, look for that timeout to be called.
That's exactly right, JR, and keep an eye on this play clock. Junction City is not going to be in any hurry at all.
And now the officials are going to stop it to replace footballs as we have gotten a drizzly afternoon going here.
Junction City is going to use this as an opportunity. No, they were going to try to.
Well, the unfortunate thing is, this is what Coach Cox is saying. It's like, hey, you guys ran 7-8 seconds off the play clock before you did that. Now you're resetting the play clock.
Right.
Plus the game clock moves on. We just lost 7 seconds for you guys to replace the football. How is that fair? And I can't argue with that.
Can't argue at all. Not at this point in the game.
But he gets no relief on that. Junction City comes up. And again, the senior cook, he's going to take as much time off that clock as he can. 10 seconds on it, and he hasn't even gotten down under center. Now he'll put himself in position with 5 on the clock. Hands off. We're left side, 1st down. Gets it to Larry. He gets the 1st down. And you see good battling by a couple of the players for both Junction City and Bearden. They were battling each other. There's more back there.
At this point,
but at the end of the game, then they tap, or at the end of the play, they tap each other on the helmet going, good job.
Yep. Simple as that.
It's another Land of Frost 1st down and a big one.
Tell you what, Larry with that run has just crossed the century mark.
So Larry gets the 100 yards on the game. 102 officially, or unofficially officially. Clock is inside 2 minutes. It's 17-14. Junction City with the lead and the football. Larry again on the carry. Gets it to the left side. Stays in bounds. Gets it down about the 27-yard line. A minute 35 left, and Bearden now forced to call timeout. Forced to call timeout with a minute 37 left to go. We'll keep it right here as we are fairly well out of timeout, so we'll keep it right here. And again, remind you, at the conclusion of today's game, we will have the presentation of the Brandon Burlsworth Awards for both schools. We will also have the presentation of the championship and the runner-up trophy presentations, and then the most valuable player. We'll have all 5 of those awards at the conclusion of this game. And also want to remind you, if you'd like to have a copy of this game for your library, AAA offer at cranemedia.com is the place to get it. It's AAA offer at cranemedia.com. DVDs are just $25 each. We'd love to put this in your library for posterity. If you're Junction City, you can add it to the one you got last year, as it looks like that they are right now on their way to coming up with their second state championship in a row here at War Memorial Stadium.
Tell you what, you know, JR, I played in one of these games before, and I wish there was a way to describe the way that players on both of these teams are feeling right now. One side, hey, we're so close. The other side, they're so anxious because time's ticking down, their season. Some of them, their whole football career for the rest of their life.
And that's the thing. There's so many, and we hadn't talked about that, and we will here in just a moment. It is second down and about 6 for the first down for Junction City. Another first down, and they can run that clock out, and that's exactly what they're going to get. It's the first down carry down to the 20-yard line. Alan Turner gets it. But you're right. I mean, like yourself. I mean, you know, when you came off this field for the last time, that was the last time you strapped on the helmet and the pads, right?
It hurt.
It hurts. It hurts, and it's a memory that you'll be glad to say that, you know, the last football game you played for a state title, but unfortunately you played for the state title and didn't come away with it. But, man, the emotions and the feelings, and, you know, that's why we know that, you know, John Bradley is out there. He's going, look, you know, Absolutely. I don't care if I've got a cramp. I don't care if I can't walk tomorrow. I'm playing today.
Exactly right.
First and 10 at the 20-yard line. The clock is rolling down, a minute 12 to go. They can just run it out here. And it's Ross on the carry, just protecting the football. And Bearden going to call one more timeout. With a minute 6 left to go here in the ball game, it'll be second down and 5. And again, we'll keep it right here for you as we wrap up the in-game coverage. And remind you, a DVD copy of this game is a great thing for Christmas gifts and for Grandma who couldn't make it and didn't want to sit in the rain. I can't blame her.
I'll tell you one thing. If you know anybody that hadn't had a chance to listen or to watch this game, tell them what they missed.
That's right.
Any football enthusiast will love this.
This is a great football game. Has been a great afternoon. Both of these teams have battled. Both of these teams have. We pretty much, you know, I did predict 3-0, but it looks like it will be a 3-point spread in this ball game. So maybe I was partially right. I'm trying to take way too much credit on something I shouldn't. But this has been exactly the kind of ball game that we really did anticipate. You know, hard fought, battled back and forth. No team taking a distinct advantage into the game. I mean, right now, as we look at the stats, it's 284 total yards for Junction City, 250 for Bearden. Bearden has all the passing yards in this game with 106 off in the hands of the quarterback, Devontae Lowe. Or actually, Caleb Clark has one of those passes, excuse me. And second down and 5. And running to the end zone, putting a final exclamation on the point of the football game. And the Junction City Dragons are pumped up and rolling because they know that they have repeated as state champions here this afternoon at War Memorial Stadium. Alan Turner runs it in for the touchdown from about 15 out to put the exclamation point up on the board, and it'll show up as 23 or 24-14, but it was a lot closer football game than that.
It is absolutely pandemonium. You look at that little sign some of the fans have made over there. If we get a camera on that at some point.
Paybacks are, yeah. Here is the snap, the kick. It's up and good. And the Junction City Dragons are a minute and 1 second away from their second state championship in a row.
I'm going to tell you something. We can honestly say that we are sitting down here looking at the happiest 33 football players in the country right now.
Absolutely. They may be small in total numbers, but they are large in a great amount of pride and excitement and enthusiasm, and a well-played football game really by both schools here this afternoon. It came down to missed opportunities and, a couple of the turnovers really didn't play a difference in the second half, but it set up Bearden to where they just were, they should have been in a better position at halftime.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's what it comes down to. Going to halftime with a team that should have been down further, believing they had a shot.
So it will be Junction City who comes out, and it's going to be that drive to end the first half that really was the difference here this afternoon. For the Junction City, and hold on, officials say no. And let's see what the call is here.
Dead ball, delay a game on the kicking team.
They were just a little too excited. A little too excited.
Yeah, you can't blame them. And something we haven't really brought up, not only does Junction City get to enjoy the glory, barring anything crazy happening, not only do they get to enjoy the glory of repeating as state champions, but this is, like I said, payback.
Yeah.
They lost a heartbreaking game during the regular season against
the only blemish on the season came to these Bearden Bears, 14-12. Now Junction City feeling like they have got their revenge. At the 25, it's Moore to the 30. Moore is going to be wrapped up and dropped right there. Gerald Moore, the senior, going to be dropped at the 31-yard line.
Brandon, Nathan, even the sophomore on the kickoff team's getting in on this action.
They're all out there full of excitement, and once again, congratulations to an outstanding season for both of these schools. I mean, both of these programs have just battled, and they're definitely, there is no question, like you said earlier to start this game, these are the two best schools in 2A football.
Look at the scores and some of those defensive stats we read off. It's debatable whether these are two teams that match up historically.
Yeah. 56 ticks left on the clock. 24-14 is our score. Junction City with the lead. Bearden with the football, trying to come up with some last-minute magic. And before the play can get off, another little yellow hanky. And we go back to the field.
Hasn't been the story,
Dead
but it's
ball,
played a
delay
role.
a game on the offense. Your 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Not able to get the play off in time. What's that now?
So the penalties, they haven't been the story, but
Right.
they've played a role several different times that we've seen.
Well, they've been inopportune.
Right.
They've been inopportune. Now, Bearden's been able to overcome some of those penalties, certainly on that big drive that they got for the touchdown here in the second half. Here's the snap. The pass to Moore. Moore hook and ladders it. He's got Brown at the 50. Bearden's not done. Down inside the 40 to the 42-yard line. But they need two scores. But Bearden Bears not quitting. And you wouldn't expect them to.
No. I was just about to say, if I'm Junction City, I'm not looking forward to the prospect of seeing Mr. DeFonte Lowe for the next 2 years.
And if I'm on the Junction City sideline right now, I'm probably taking that sign down just a little bit. Seems to be spurring on the Bears. Lowe.
He can't spike it. That's a fumble.
And it's going to be covered and recovered.
He never got the spike off.
He never got the snap clean, never got the spike. And I guess they can hold that sign up a little bit higher now because the ball is going over to Junction City Dragons. He'll be able to take the victory formation.
I'm going to tell you what we're about to see. The worst thing a defensive player could ever see in a playoff state championship game, they'll take the snap and sit on it. And there's nothing you can do about it. You
Not
gotta
a
sit there
thing
and watch.
you can do.
At this point, the Bearden defensive players, their eyes are going to start to well up a little bit.
Once again, a reminder at the conclusion of our broadcast, we will have the trophy presentations, including the team awards, as well as the Brandon Burlsworth Award and our most valuable player award here at the conclusion of this game. The victory formation, the snap is taken. The clock is winding. We'll see if they have to run another one or not. They will not have to. They have not started the play clock. Now they start the play clock. There's a 5-second differential. The Junction City Dragons have done it. Back-to-back state championships in Class 2A. Coach David Carpenter and his crew celebrate on the field. And our final score here is 24-14. The Junction City High School Dragons have defeated the Bearden Bears, ending the perfect season for the Bearden Bears. They go to 14-1, 13-1 on the record for the season for Junction City. They are your Class 2A state champions. We'll come back with our trophy presentations right after this on KARZ TV 42.
And our first awards are from the Brandon Burlsworth Foundation. We direct your attention to midfield, where the Brandon Burlsworth Foundation will present an Outstanding Player of the Game award for today's game to representatives of each team. A plaque will be presented to a player from both Junction City and Bearden. The Brandon Burlsworth Award is given in recognition of outstanding performance on the football field for doing it the Burls way. The award is a plaque that features the likeness of former Indianapolis Colt and Arkansas Razorback All-America Brandon Burlsworth. As you may recall, Burlsworth was an all-state offensive and defensive lineman for the Harrison Goblins of the mid-1990s. The selected players also receive a copy of the book Through the Eyes of a Champion, The Brandon Burlsworth Story, by author Jeff Kinley. The award will be presented by Brandon Burlsworth Foundation Executive Director Marty Burlsworth and Foundation Board Member Max Wright. First, presenting the award to the player from Bearden. He is number 65, Chris Jenkins. Chris Jenkins, please come forward and accept your Brandon Burlsworth Foundation Award. Chris is a 6'1", 248-pound senior. And now Marty Burlsworth and Max Wright will present the Brandon Burlsworth Foundation Award to the player from Junction City. He is number 64, Jacob Pumphrey. Jacob is a 6', 210-pound offensive lineman and a 12th grader. Congratulations. Next up, the presentation of the team trophies. And they will be done, as always, by State Farm Insurance agents. State Farm agent Brad Scott of Springdale will present this year's Class 2A runner-up trophy. And it goes to the Bearden Bears. Congratulations to Bearden and Coach Mike Cox, finishing the year 14-1. And now for the grand prize, State Farm agent Richard Day of Sherwood to present the 2009 Class 2A State Championship Trophy. For the third time in school history, it goes to the Junction City Dragons. Finishing the year 13-1 and avenging its only loss of the year. Congratulations to Coach David Carpenter and the Dragons. One more award remains, and it will be presented by State Farm Insurance agent Brad Scott of Springdale. It goes to today's most valuable player. This young man recorded 6 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, recorded a sack. He is number 54 for the Junction City Dragons, Byron Jones.
And so for the second year in a row, Byron Jones walks away with an MVP award for the Junction City Dragons, and he delivered our biggie hit of the game. I mean, it was an incredible afternoon, and something that young man is going to recognize and remember for an awful long time.
Yeah, and that was a game-changing hit.
It was.
Because that was a big-time third down pass. Or actually, it was a second down play, and it led to the overthrow on the next pass. But I tell you what, it shows his versatility because throughout the game, he was rotating from defensive tackle, and then on pass situations, he could rush from defensive end. Just a great player.
So congratulations to him, and congratulations to the Junction City Dragons. My broadcast partner this afternoon has been Dusty Richards. Dusty, it's been a pleasure to have you on board with us. We want to thank everybody in our technical crew, Russell and his whole crew, for making this game possible. And again, we want to thank Chevrolet for making today's game possible for you to be enjoying, as well as our good friends at Wendy's and Land of Frost. Again, for a DVD copy of today's game, AAA offer at cranemedia.com. That's AAA offer at cranemedia.com. I'm J.R. Runyon saying so long from War Memorial Stadium.